Welcome back to Synthesized Sci-Fi. I'm Wombat38, and I'm joined today by my co-host.
What's up, guys? Fat Phil here. We are back for what is this episode four
This is episode
of
four,
T
yeah.
episode four TB Anonymous.
We,
So,
you forgot to start streaming before we started the podcast. It's fine. It's fine.
oh shit. Yeah, hold on. We should restart that.
We don't need to restart. It's fine.
Okay, let's start
It-
sharing.
It's
There's our
it's your mantra to do stuff on the fly, right?
yeah, exactly. Fuck that. Go right into it.
But now we're
So
now we're
yeah, we've
demonetized though because we spoiled in the first 8 seconds. It's fine.
there's no way. Oh yeah, okay, we lost a penny.
Yeah,
Christ
yeah,
above.
yeah. How many views did the last episode get on YouTube?
I have no idea. I'd have to go look.
Let me look real quick.
But yeah, it's funny. I was thinking like about I swear I wish you know how you have like the review phase for TB for Territory Wars. Why don't we get that for Territory Battles? Why can't you leave my TB up for just like even 24 hours to look at stuff that I could take screenshots or something? I was thinking that the other day. That like pisses me off like a lot, like irrationally pisses me off.
Hey,
Like,
we got like 241 views last episode. That's nice.
all right, that
Not for YouTube
works.
video, but that's good for a podcast.
Yeah,
Most I ever gotten was like 180 views for one of
there
my
we go.
podcasts. So, of course,
Um,
I didn't have a YouTube video with 9,000 subs. So,
yeah, I mean it helps a little bit, not a lot,
just
but
just just a little bit.
but yeah, I was thinking about this. Like, don't you wish like how much cooler would it be if we could do this podcast on like Sunday night and TB review could be up or like Monday morning and we could go into like territory battles and show people like planets and combats and stuff because like as an officer it sucks for tracking that we use hot utils to do that which helps but like
Yeah.
it'd be so nice to just have it open for 24 hours like the goddamn territory war where no one gives a flying fuck about reviewing it that way. Like, when was the last time that you went into a territory war and were like, let me go review what happened? No one
No,
cares.
you just see, oh look, my team got a hold. Ha. Or
I do that,
why did we take 15 battles to kill this Ray team?
but I wish, give me a review for TB, please. It's not that, it should not be that hard.
Yeah. Although we don't need it because hot utils exist, but we shouldn't need hot utils to make the game function as it should.
Thank you. Thank you. That there's so many things that I think they have not done because somebody else is doing it already. And they're like, oh, we don't need to do that. People just use hot utils.
Yeah.
Like, that's so wrong. like, like that's so wrong. Like I think my favorite thing with hot utils that I hear is the people who can um they press the button to assign their platoon operations.
Oh, I
Like
miss doing that.
I
That
don't do that,
dude, that
but
and automatic TW deployments, oh, that was what I missed from shots first. That was so fucking nice because you just get your orders and you hit, oh, select this datacron, select that datacron, select this datacron. Oh, I want to deploy a different team, and then done. You do everything from Discord. You don't have to open the game at all.
yeah.
And the
I
exact same thing with platoons. You just hit OK platoons and you're done.
yeah. And it, obviously there would be a lot of planning in this game that would have to go like to be perfectly honest, like I know but like there has to be something where you could just say like deploy units, that your guild could have like, hey, Phil, here's your deployments, and it could be in game. Just like, for think about like Grand Arena, you can preset your defense.
Yeah.
Like I can go into Grand Arena and I can edit my defense. One, I should be able to do this territory wars, but two, with territory battles, your guild, like how much cooler would it be if your guild as an officer, you could be able to go in, open up a TB, like just a blank TB like this. You open it up, and I could start, hey, Fat Phil's going to deploy Wampa here. He's going to deploy Malik here. And
Yeah.
then phase opens up, and I can just press a button when I log in, right? And boom, operations. Just food for thought, CG,
Or
if you hear that.
literally for officers, they can have it view, well, make it as simple as possible. You can always view territory wars. It shows you the last match if you're, make it like exactly like GSE. Shows your last match if you're like the day after. But other than that, it'll always show your defenses,
Yep.
and officers can edit that. But
Yes.
every player has to put in their defense in every zone. But once it's set, it's set. So if the officers said, "Hey, ping everyone, hey, we're changing this zone around. So everyone, I'm gonna delete everyone's defenses. Go add this team in." Or, "Hey, we're full board reset. We're gonna change everything up." Or, "We're only resetting these zones." And or hey, everyone go put your data crowns in. Go edit your teams.
Yeah. Like
Because then you
the
do that what basically once a month, maybe once every other month, depending on how often you guys switch around defense and datacrons, because most guilds aren't switching defenses at all. They're doing stuff for datacrons, and that's about it.
like that's what you can do in Marvel Strike Force. You preset, you get I mean, I don't know if you ever played Marvel Strike
No.
Force's Alliance War, but like if I go into my territory war, we got absolutely wrecked by Shitstorm's guild. I mean, it was not look, we didn't even
Oh,
get
it
through a
was
zone.
Shitstorm's guild?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I sent those screenshots of me beating, like trying going up against his teams. I'm not going to
Wait.
show their defense because like,
I saw a few of their teams.
but like, how nice would it be if we got to click in here again? I'm not going to show our defense because my guild would get mad, even though we suck anyway, so it doesn't matter. But like, how
I,
nice
I
would it
can't
be?
I can't possibly imagine what's on your first fleet wall.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Oh
if I
wow,
could go in,
surprise! It's Leviathan.
yeah, like how nice would it be though if instead of like everybody sets a team here, 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 and here, you kind of had like an individual zone that all of your teams had to go in. And that would go through the 24 players in your guild. There was like, I think 24 zones, give or take. I think it was 24 zones that everybody had to set. I think it was like 10 teams or something, or 8 teams. And Fat Fills were all right here. Wombats were all right here.
Yeah.
And what that did, at least in my mind, was made Alliance War a lot more interesting because a player, you couldn't just set, like if your guild has, 50 Ahsokas and mine has 30, you can place all 50 in like one zone, or like you can manipulate the territory wars in Swago that it's just a wall of the same exact team. Where here it was, hey, that player, there might be some really tough teams, but also some very beatable teams. And so it just, I always felt that that was a more interesting way to attack the um the alliance war from that game's perspective. There's not a lot I liked about that game more than Swago, but that was definitely one of them.
Yeah, or the players like me or three other people might go with a bunch of R9s and crazy data crowns. We go throw stuff on the front walls and be like, "Hey, have fun."
Yeah.
Or people that get lots and lots of TW ohmies, we just throw their teams on the front wall and it'd be like, "Well, have fun with that."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Like
that's those
it at
teams are
least,
just annoying as shit.
like you could still do that, but it wasn't as, I'd say it wasn't as easy, right? You had to do a little bit more planning, and you wouldn't have to face 50 Ahsokas with the Sabine, Hera, and Kron in a single zone because it's one person's defense. So I always thought
Yeah.
that was kind of cool. But yeah, that's enough ranting about why territory battles and territory wars, I mean, in this game sucks and needs updating. But
Yeah. So
it sits with me. It's just like resentment.
mhm. So before we started, we were talking about Mara Jade's mods.
Oh
And I
yes.
gotta I gotta ask, how do you have her modded?
So I'll pull her up here. So I run her, I try to focus on a lot of potency, and then I run obviously a speed set, and then I have a health mod and a protection mod. And it's really because those are my two faster potency mods with the potency secondary. And the reason I went with a lot of tried to get as much potency on her as possible, which some people won't like, but there are times I've set this team on defense, and Wampa can be a consistent enough counter if you do not have enough tenacity or potency on your Mara Jade, because you can potentially stun Wampa off the bat and then it's game over. And I have won plenty of grand arenas where my Wampa kills Star Killer because Mara Jade doesn't land enough debuffs.
Hmm.
But How did you ever modded?
So, um, my mods in her were not the best because I did not realize she didn't even have a potency set. She had a health set and
Jeez.
a speed set and then a tenacity primary. So I'm assuming at some point I was remodding her. I was pulling her mods off for a raid run and then threw the wrong mods back on her. But now her mods are fixed for now
There you go.
because she still has an offense primary because it's 27 speed and I don't have something better right now.
But
So she has a speed arrow obviously but a speed arrow with 12% potency. And
but
then
does she need that like the 27 speed? Like how fast is she right now?
363 speed.
So if you lost even just 10 speed, you're at 353.
I'm losing the next best mod I could put on her puts her at 351.
Okay. So with Starkiller's unique ability, that's still 420 speed. So what are you outrunning at that point? Because even if you're facing a team with Ezra Bridger against Ray, for the sake of argument, who he can be fast. I think I remodded mine the other day. So he's
Does he
373
gain
now.
speed in his unique?
Um, the first time he loses Exile, I think he gains speed.
Okay.
Each ally, he'll gain 30 speed the
Yeah,
first time he loses
and
it.
then Ben also gains 30 speed at the beginning of battle in 3v3.
Yes, in 3v3. And
I
then
feel
Ray
like
is,
I was gonna say I was just thinking about the other day. I feel like no one knows that about Ben's kit. That he gains speed for
and
every
then
light and health for every light side ally.
and Ray's giving out 30 speed. So
Okay.
you think at the start of a battle, my Ezra is still slower than your Mara Jade.
Yeah, he's 401 speed.
Yeah. And so at that point, what are you outrunning?
Well,
You
and
know what I mean?
at that point, you just take a turn meter level 3, and then you have
Well,
basically
but
at that point you outrun Ray. So
yeah. So I don't know. I've not that I don't like speed on Mara Jade, but to a certain extent, what are you outrunning that you need that much speed? Now, I think, and again, I think Ezra is going to stop going with Ray here soon because all of us with Ahsoka are realizing how useless she is without him. Which, like, I feel like they tried in her kit to be like, oh, if Ezra isn't there, everybody gains like 100% max health and protection, but it's just not enough. It's not even that
yeah,
it's not the protection. There's just no. He's that good with her, and it bothers me so much. I might just have to let Ray get beat again on defense and bring Ezra and Ahsoka because I can't set him on defense though. Like I don't want to put that team on defense either. So I don't know. It sucks. First world problems. I have Ahsoka and I don't like that she's not good enough. Christ above, God forbid.
what am I telling you? She's the worst GL.
But she's better than Sith Eternal.
Sith Eternal with Bane?
Okay, well you're using them on defense. Pointless. It's my argument against any Sith Eternal is I cannot place him on defense. Like there's the thing with Bane, right? Is my bone to pick with Bane because I love Darth Bane. He's so much fun to use on offense, but you never have to look at somebody's roster and think about where am I going to see Bane on defense.
It's just okay, so they have a free win. Got it.
Yes, and even then, he's not been a free win consistently against Queen Amidala lately.
Yes.
That
I will say Bane in like lower GAC, like below Kyber, you see Bane, you're like, okay, so my crazy GL team that's supposed to hold, it's not gonna hold today
yes, yeah,
because they have Bane.
but it's just that's my one bone to pick is I hate when people say, "Oh, Sith Eternal's this amazing GL because of Bane." Like you can't use him on defense, and that's 50% of what makes a GL a GL is the threat of them being on defense.
Yeah, but not necessarily. Like you can't use JML on defense.
You can. I'm not saying I recommend it, but you could use JML on defense, but depending on what else you combine it with, that could be a problem.
Yeah. Because
That's
just looking at the
that's
GLs right now, like they're all good on offense. Even the ones we
except
only ever put
Ahsoka.
on defense. Yeah, except for Ahsoka. She's terrible on offense because she can't even kill Jabba. I killed
But
Tao with Bo-Katan Mandalorian. You can't even kill her with Ahsoka. Who's
yeah,
the better
no, don't
GL?
get yeah,
Maybe
don't get me started.
it could be the Relic investment because I have Relic 9 Bo-Katan, but Ahsoka doesn't even deserve the R9. So
Yeah, I'm continuing. I'm really thinking about where with my Ahsoka team how I want them to kind of evolve from where they are. I feel like they just need relics
yeah, you need
because
to relegate Padawan, Sabine, or like Relic 9 Ezra. Probably relegate Ahsoka.
you need like relic 9 on that whole team. The whole thing is about gaining mastery, and the only you've got to have a high enough starting point with them. That's one thing. I don't know if you've noticed this with a lot of the newer teams, but they're putting pieces into their kits where the more relics they have, the better they're getting.
Yeah,
Where like when you think of Star Killer only benefits from the relics in the form of stats.
yeah. Swords basically just the offense.
Where Malicos has a mastery built into one of his Omicrons for himself.
Hmm.
So extra relics make like a Relic 9 Malicos is a better investment than a Relic 9 Star Killer because Malicos has mastery gain built into his Omicron.
Or Balin or the new Bad Batch mercenaries where they gain
Yes.
Forge of Fortune based on how many relics they have. So the Relic 9 they start with way more offense, just straight up.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a trend I've noticed. And I feel like with this Ahsoka team, that's kind of what they're trying to push is at Relic 7, it's not enough. You need him at like the other levels. But the thing is, she's the queen, as far as I'm concerned, in PvE, she's gonna be the queen of PvE. Like
Ahsoka,
yeah, this team in PvE is just phenomenal.
how consistent is her taunt in PvE?
It doesn't matter. Like the team's so thick, there's so much, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not even like in territory battles, I'm not even using her with Ezra. I don't use Ezra with that team.
You use Ezra with JML or Ray?
I use Ezra in one phase. I use him with in so hold on, I gotta think
For
through.
the
So
JKCD
on
mission.
yeah, so in phase one, I think I did use him with Ray just for kicks or for I think I used him with Ahsoka just for kicks and giggles. You don't need to. All that protection up. I had Padawan Sabine hit for 6 million. I think I said that. Like she hit for like 6 million points. Um in phase two, I think I did use Ezra on Braca, and it didn't matter. I might use him with Jedi again just to, but yeah, it was easy. Um, phase three. So I did this on Zepho. I did do one extra CM on Zepho. So I skipped three total CMs there, but I did the unrestricted with Ahsoka, Hu Yang, Padawan Sabine, Hera, and then I threw in Fulcrum there. So I could use Ezra with Jedi Cal. Dude, that team just massacred that unrestricted mission. Like I don't even it's so that's I'm trying to push my guild that's what we should do is open up that unrestricted and just use Ahsoka there, and it was a cakewalk. It's yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, that team will be relegate for me eventually after I do other stuff because fuck Agnards and this TB wave ridiculousness that I have to beat him in.
Yeah. Also, that unrestricted on Zepho, Bo-Katan kills that. For what, phase 4, she kills it.
With the I mean, I don't know how much the boons help.
No, I killed it without
Yeah.
platoons. Because Bo-Katan died, everyone else died, but Paz and IG-12 survived and they sold the entire thing. She took like 2 turns and then Paz just was like, "Hi, I'm tanky. You can't kill
Do
me
you have
ever."
do you have the Paz Omicron?
I do now. I didn't have it when I did that mission though.
Okay. Yeah. I know you've been working on your bow for the Relic 9 like combat mission here. Just crazy.
I was thinking though a while ago. So, do you need full lifetime Mandalorian to kill that mission, or can you use Relic 9 Ball?
No, you need it's only light side. It's not a mixed planet.
Oh, no, no, no. Mandalore is because
Oh,
Mandalore
oh,
is
oh,
off
oh, oh,
mixed.
oh. I mean, if you don't have all light side though,
Yeah, so that's my question. You're
she
losing all this much from your unique, but also with Paz on me, does it matter?
I would say it matters still.
Okay.
That's just my that's just the way I see it, but you can try it and let me know
Because I'm
because
planning on, yeah,
I will probably never do that mission.
yeah, it makes sense. Because I'm planning on
It
doing Relic 9 Speen, Relic 9 Grogu, and Relic 9 Bam. So,
yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna I definitely can't do that yet.
yeah.
But that's here's like I did 120 waves and I had some avoidable drops in there, but I skipped 6 total waves I could have done on Zepho. So that would have been 126 combat missions that I was able to get done. And I was like, that's a pretty damn good number. And that's not, I don't have young Lando either. So like a Relic 6 gets me another 2 waves that I don't need.
Are you
But
doing all the missions in phase one,
yeah, I mean, that's concluding phase one.
including the special mission? The one in mixed, I forget that uses what?
Oh,
Who does that
not
use?
the, not this, not the Kira Young Han get 3 mission. I don't have that yet.
Oh, it's a get three mission. That's why. Okay. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah, yeah,
increase
yeah.
your wave count. I was gonna
No.
say because I remember seeing that one. I was like, well, that's just two relic fives for two extra waves. So you might as well for the competition,
Yeah,
right?
it's Kira Young Han get 3. So, but it's funny, like, as I was like, obviously my guild now, I think most of them know that like this competition's happening. So it's one of those like everybody's kind of on board for me to do extra like when this happens. But it'll be I'm like I've got a lot of stuff I have to do, and it's like I don't know if I have the strength to do it. To quote Kylo there,
You don't want to give
because
Sith Eternal his relic eight.
no, I don't want to relegate this dude. It pains me that he will be relegate before Ahsoka
Wait,
or Jedi Master
hang on a
Kenobi.
second. Go back to Sith Eternal. What the fuck are
What?
you doing here? Why does he have speed mods?
Because okay, so mine with health, this is I was prepared for this. With health, I only had him at like 460 speed because I just don't have enough good health mods to go around that I could sacrifice it for him to use against some random ass team.
You're,
And
you're
I've been
telling me
using
that you don't have that much speedy health mods now, or when you modded him originally.
I mean, even the ones I would want to take off, I'm not taking them from those characters, not for him. And what I'm using him against, though, this is my point. I'm using him against teams like Ezra or Ahsoka, where having some extra speed is a little bit nicer. So I still have enough health on him. I mean, he's got 175,000 health. Like, it's not like he's 120 or anything. Because I have the health up here. I've got it here, here, and here. And I've got health there, and I've got health there. So it's not like he's super
How fast
low.
is he?
Like I mean, only 529. He's not a fast
I mean, that's pretty
PO.
fast for a C because almost no one ever runs speed set on him. It's always full health.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
what's my C?
like
He
I have one with 14 speed here.
Yeah, so my C is 501 speed, but he also has 210,000 health at Relic 9.
Yeah. So like
So
it
he kills a Relic 9 Rays in TW. That's where I like my C4 because
yeah,
Relic 9 Ray doesn't one shot him because he has that's so much health.
but yeah, I just can't I got to the point where I was like, I'm just pissing away this guy. Like I lost a couple of battles at times where or they got dicey because he wasn't fast enough.
Hmm.
And I was like, I'm just gonna boost him up and live with the consequences. And I have no regrets from that. But yeah, because he'll be it's I'm gonna do like the full first order, like we said, I'm gonna do the full first order to relegate, get that team, and then Sith Eternal. Um, and then I don't know. I like at that point, we'll have to see where I'm at and what I can pull off at that point because like to get more missions, it's Imperial remnants on Mandalore or yeah, I start scraping too much because I don't have Yeah, it's like teams for, and that's why I like teams for Haven. And like ooh, yikes.
Yeah, I need to work on that. I can't kill a single combat mission in Haven right now.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
What do you
I tried it. What was it? Last TB, I got a 1 out of 2 with Sith Eternal, the three Sith Empire, and then I want to say, who did I use for the fifth there?
not Bane? Oh, you don't have Bane.
I don't have Bane, no. He's 10 shards from unlocking, but I'm not building him right now because I'm working on Bo-Katan Mandalore and then
That's just
Ahsoka.
stupid. That's stupidity. That's fucking stupid.
Okay, but it's for the memes though.
I don't care. That's just stupid. Like this is what happens in Awakened Mandalorians. Like they sacrifice their account for stupid shit instead of being like, oh, you know what? Bane's actually a good character. I should build him up. Fucking Awakened Mandalorians,
He's actually, let
idiots.
me see what I used. I think I might have written it down.
Here's I was gonna show you. This is what I'm using for Haven, and both times that I've done these teams, I've been successful for 2 out of 2 waves.
Okay.
And it's not like neither one of those. I mean, the Lord Vader team, it's like what the fuck because it's Lord Vader. But
Yeah, my issue with Lord Vader, I don't have a Relicate tank that
that dude,
survives because it's
Riva,
it Riva is Relic 7.
bring her to Relic 8. That's more
But
important than trying to get. There's no way your guild needs waves
but
on Mandalore
but my
like
next
they need waves
Relicate
on Haven.
is IG-12.
I hope Agnards hears this and fucking flips at you. Like that's so silly.
So who would I use as the fifth on my Lord Vader team then? If I do Reba.
So you have
I have
Lord Vader,
Mom
Maul,
Piet,
Piet, Riva. I mean, Wampa. There you go. There's a Relic 8.
but I don't use Wampa in GAC. There's no point in giving him Relicate.
He's king. That's reason
I
enough.
use him
Oh, for the
every
memes. Oh,
once in
for
a
the
while.
memes. I'm gonna do missions on Mandalore, but God forbid I try a Haven mission.
I mean, I'm mostly just doing it for the fun of having a Relic 9 Bo-Katan Mandalore team.
I mean, you
The
could.
part of having the mission done is just the excuse to do it. I could do a Saj or
You're
Star Killer. That's basically my options for
yeah.
synergy.
I mean, it's. I would say Star Killer is. I mean, you're not really. I mean, to be fair, my Wampa does normally survive the entire battle because of the damage over time. So he's just like actually does work in that mission. But it, you know, I do one of those just to have it.
How well does Reva survive in that mission though?
I get her to survive normally until the end. I mean, I showed you the one screenshot. I had just Piet and Wampa left after I misplayed it, and they still got 2 out of 2 waves
Hmm. Yeah,
because
because
I marked Vader, and then Piet gained all of Vader's stats, and he was basicing for 100K, and then Wampa just did Wampa things.
oh, I thought you were looking at your account. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Well, since when do you have a Relic 9 Lord Vader? And then oh
No,
yeah, this is my
yeah,
account.
no, yeah, we've still got Relicate Lord Vader.
Good, good.
It'll happen. I mean, it could happen soon, but it's not going to happen because
There's no reason to Relic 9 Lord Vader at this point.
I mean, I would do
You-
it for Malachor.
For territory battle missions, yes, but in terms of PvP, there's no reason. He's not meta right now, and his counter is unlosable. So
I'm debating taking my Kylo team to Relic 9 because of Darkside Ray right now for Malachor.
really,
I'm like heavily debating it because
do you guys get to Malachor?
yeah, that's where our 40 we missed 44 stars this TB by 5 million GP, I want to say. And we had somebody not deploy in phase 4
That
for 12
sucks.
million for 12 million GP. He was on leave of absence, so he did give us warning that he wasn't going to be around, but we thought he'd at least be able to deploy, and he wasn't doing combats either. So like we missed out on million, as to put on the
Probably
Trump
like
voice. We
17
missed out
million
on
in phase 4.
millions and millions and millions and millions of galactic power because he didn't do missions, and then missing the 12 million deployment was enough that cost us our star 2 phases later.
So you guys spend 2 days on Dathomir or 2 days on Haven?
2 days on Dathomir, 1 day on Haven.
Yeah, so we spent 2 days on Haven. That's why I've been eyeballing a Haven team because I can't do any CMs there right now.
Yeah, we do Dathomir. We Mandalore's like 3 phases. Kessel is 2 phases, and then we do Kafrine for 2 phases. Which like Kessel, like this is like look at where I'm using Ezra on Kessel. I can use this team on Kessel and get 2 waves with JML and Ezra Exile because he can you can just call Ezra to assist with everybody else and then he can dispel the confusion, which I think Cal would work here too. You could throw Cal and he'll just every time as long as you use like windmill defense, he'll dispel all the debuffs on your team. But it's all just about using Ezra and he's calling assists and he's healing up your team and you survive.
I mean, that Castle Mission is super easy. Like I have a relic with a Relicate Jedi Knight Luke. That's so easy. I just use what? Jedi Knight Luke. I want to say I do Jedi Knight Luke, JML, Jolie, Shock.
Okay.
It's autoable.
Okay. But Plo Koon, Grandmaster Yoda, and General Skywalker are all requirements for
Very,
Galactic Legends.
very true.
This is when I was on Three Scoundrels, somebody asked a question like, what am I most proud of? Or like if you had to throw all humility aside. And I said that I've squeezed everything out of my account. That like for the effort I put in, the investment I put in, all that stuff. Because when I say effort, like there's times I don't try in GAC, I don't try in Territory Wars. Like for the level of effort I put in, I've squeezed almost everything out of it. And it's because I pull off shit like this.
Yeah, like in phase 6, I'm platooning 5 GLs to Relic 9 platoons. I want to say 4 or 5.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you have to do though. Like my guild, we split that up across various players, but I don't know.
Well, I'm
I don't
platooning
know
because
what.
I can't use them. I don't have
Oh,
enough
you don't even
Relic
have the
9
teams.
I have 4 Relic 9
Oh,
teams I can possibly even make. So I'm just like, well, I might as well just platoon these 4 GLs so no one else has to because I have them all Relic 9 anyways. I
oh
forget
yeah.
what
I
am I
have.
using in basics? I did do an outline of it because I probably could switch it up now that I have the Paz on me. Could probably throw him with something. So right now I'm using QA on light side. Lord Vader. Actually, Lord Vader killed the what was it? What's the first Relic 9 planet in mix? Is that Vandor?
Yeah, Vandor.
Yeah, Lord Vader killed the Vandor mission. That was nice. And I used what? Lord Vader Piet with Revan, Malik, and Malgus. That was really funny with that one. And then Java, I used Java with my rent with Lightside, Chrysanthemum and Lightside because I was using them before with Darth Revan, Malik, and Malgus, but if I can throw them with Lord Vader and get a CM, it's better.
Yeah,
I used
yeah.
Java with Chrysanthemum, Cat, Radis, and Fulcrum. And then I do Leo on Mandalore open with
Hold on. You can't build this team. You don't have Relic 9 Drogon.
well if I don't have Relic 9 Drogon, no.
This is another like I don't want to say secret weapon, right? But like this team I can use on Kafrine for 2 phases, win both times. Day one is a little dicey, but day two it's you're never losing. But like again, you're using 2 R9 requirements, a Relic 8 requirement in R2, and then I mean Leia, I had Relic 8 from the speeder bike raid. So I didn't have to do a ton of extra relics to this team to get waves out of it.
So here's the way the math works out though. If I do that, I need to do an extra Relic 9 because then I don't have a Relic 9 for my Java team. Because my what I'm benching that wave, I'm benching Ben, Ray, JML, C, and SLKR. So if I
So
do Drogon and R2, I have to do well, no. No, that's not right because I have Paz on me and Paz and BKM are 9 now.
I this is I mean I did it this way is like I clicked that like I made a tab for phase 5 and just did unique only and that way I can't, I have all the teams I need. But yeah, cuz my phase 6 Jabba team is just Jabba, Chrysanthemum, Piet, Malik and uh Revan.
What do you think about Ray, Cat? Ben, BKM, and Paz on Kafrene for real. Because Paz is just indelibly tanky. BKM is
Who's
damage,
going
and then
to
Cat's keeping them tanky.
who's going to heal up Ray after you use Lifeblood?
Mm, good point.
That's because like this is my one Kessel team that I use. Again, now Ben doesn't need to be here. You can put General Skywalker, Han Solo. It doesn't matter who you put here. But these three with Ray, I can heal up Ray with Padme. GK taunts, so he gets the lifeblood piece. Arc Trooper just there for extra damage, but healing up with Padme the whole time, easy money. And I actually did this. I can't do it here, but I threw, instead of Arc Trooper, I threw Ezra Bridger Exile in there. And this got me the CMs on Mandalore. The against the OG Gideon. That by the way, that mission is so stupid. How ridiculously tanky that Dark Trooper is.
Yeah, I just use JML or Leia. It's really easy.
But Leia's on Kafrene.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if I do that, I'd have to use JML there, which is I can do that easily. I'd use what? JKL, Shark,
You
Ezra.
because
Like
you have Cal. Do you have Cal's Omicrons
I
on
do
that
have
account?
Cal's Omicrons, but he's Relic 7 still. I've been eyeing his Relic.
Oh,
Here's the thing. If I give J Knight Cal, I was lead. If I give him Relic 9, I could do a mission on Kafrene, and I could additionally do Relic 9 Drogu and Relic 9 Drogu,
Drogu, Grogu,
Drogu,
and Drogon.
Relic 9 I can't speak right now. I could do Relic 9 Drogon and Relic 9 R2, and then I could get 3 CMs on Kafrene if I
Yeah,
do 3 Relic 9s. And then I could do JML on Open Mandalore.
yeah. That that was the like. I mean, I know I'm in a much more. I don't want to say you guys aren't focused on TB, but like I think you guys were at 42 stars and we're like about to hit 44. But that was a big part of what I've been trying. Like this whole thing with Egnards is kind of funny because I was already building a bunch of stuff to get better in TB. And so it was a lot of me just looking at like what's one or two characters I can bring up that get me extra combats. Which is why Ahsoka is still Relic 7, because I'd bring that team to Relic 8, but I don't need another light side team at Relic 8 yet.
You need another Lifetime team at Relic 9.
Yeah. And
And that's a big jump.
yeah, that would have to like that's where it'd have to be like Ray, GK, Ezra, Ben, and then I start that's where like I'm like, well, I start running out of I've got to do something crazy to get to R9 there. Which like the easy answer is Han, but I don't need Han at like I don't need Han at Relic 9.
Yeah.
So I'd have to think through that. But minor details, right? But that's why I've enjoyed TB is because now I'm kind of like, all right, I can build this character and make them better for PvP, and then I get them for TB too, which is what you're kind of doing with your Bo-Katan.
Yeah, because now I get this really fun character that'll just wreck shit in GAC, and then also she just wins every TB mission. Especially with the Paz on me, like I'm just never gonna lose again with her.
No, the new territory battle Omicrons are so much better than the old ones. Like I get that
Uh,
Rolo and Finn
I-
are cool,
Finn's Omicron aged very well when we got Zori, I will say.
but argument here, right? This is because I said
There's no
this
reason to Relic 8 and Relic 9 Zori teams. That's the
correct.
argument.
They don't need it. Like you the counters to that team don't care what their really don't care what their relics are. I'd say a
Yeah.
normal counter. I'm not getting into the oh you're gonna use Afra and delete them, but if they have too much health and protection, you're fucked.
No,
Like
if you're using JKR with in 3v3, if you're using like JKR and JKL and they have all relic gates, you're gonna run into some issues.
yeah, but like your remnants with Enoch. I mean that's like the Omicron that I feel like completely changes what you can do on Haven because that beats the Shorty mission, which is the hardest mission on Haven.
Yeah, but I still think undeniably, yeah. I was very happy on the on your podcast, British Channels, that you guys came to the realization, yeah, Janet Caucasus Elite is the best territory battle Omi, and it's probably going to stay that forever because it's just
It's so good.
it's so stupid because it doesn't need any synergy. So for accounts that just have random relic nines and relic eights that don't can't use them, you just give him relic eight, relic nine, and then he just never loses.
Yeah, allies gain like so you gain 100% max health and protection and 300% of his defense.
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to be smart, you'd go mod him for a crazy amount of defense, and then everybody has that defense. But you don't need to. I mean, you don't need to.
300% defense is
At the
still
start of
insane. So
at the start of the encounter, you gain 25% turn meter and frenzy for 2 turns. Defeated enemies can't be revived. Stacks of impetus persist through encounters. So, like, defeated enemies can't be revived is the part of that that I think people don't it doesn't quite register of what that means because you're like, oh well, he can't use them on Dathomir. All of those stupid Empire nodes where you've got to go through like 5 stacks of Stormtrooper or the Purge Troopers.
mm,
Goodbye.
you go through one stack.
Yep.
It's literally every single light side planet except for I want to say Ring of Kafrene is the only one that doesn't have that.
No, they do. They
Oh, they
do.
do.
The easiest mission is those scoundrels, but all the other ones are Empire nodes. I think you still have to go through them.
Oh yeah,
I'd have
yeah.
to
Because
remember.
I for QA, I think you do. Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
just they melt so quickly you don't notice.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
Relegate that has that. Yep.
yeah, like that's the cow one is good, but at the same time, it's funny. I was having this debate with somebody, and maybe it has to happen again. But like, do you feel like the light side and dark side planets are equally weighted, or do you feel like one of them is harder than the other?
It's weird because Haven is like the most difficult planet in TV.
Oh yeah, oh 100%.
But all the light side planets are more difficult than Dathomir, Tatooine, and Mustafar combined. And the mixed planets are just free wins. If you have it's they're just relic checks.
I see. I was thinking that right.
If you're using a GL, they're relic checks.
But here it was my argument against like light side, dark side is the dark side planets are harder when using a galactic legend. That like if you compare using a GL on the light side and using a GL on the dark side, you will struggle more on most dark side planets. Like think of Kylo pre dark side Ray on Dathomir. There was a very good chance that you were either getting one or no waves if you got sniped out.
Yeah, if you got sniped out and then you didn't have OG Kylo to pass turn meter or anything like that.
Yeah, like you were screwed. Whereas the light side using GLs, it's almost like a lot of them with the right GL team are almost unlosable.
Yeah,
But
but the issue with light side is they're very difficult missions. So if you pull too much away to spread yourself thin, all of a sudden you're getting a bunch of 0 out of 2s.
well, and then on the flip side, dark side, think of how many non-galactic legend teams don't need Omicrons to get you through Mustafar, Geonosis, and Dathomir.
Yeah,
Because I can do Dathomir without a galactic legend on day 4
yeah.
and no Omicrons.
Hmm.
Because Admiral Trench is the goat of Dathomir. That
Also,
team.
I think people forget how annoying missions on Mustafar are.
I don't think they're that hard.
The, they're not hard. They're annoying because the B2 just infinitely nuke you. So using like a weaker team, like for like lower end accounts, misfire missions are really annoying because you don't win unless you have a GL or you have
Oh,
one of
see,
the meta teams that isn't super tanky.
I used to do that with Emperor Palpatine, Mara Jade, Vader, Thrawn, and like Piet.
Yeah, I think I did the same on my alt, and then I used started using Palpatine for mixed open.
Yeah, that's like the mixed is where I use my CLS team
Yeah. Then again,
because that's an
it's also phase one, so. I just
yeah,
use a GL for every CM, and I even benched like 2 or 3 GLs.
but that's the thing, right? With the whole like phase one is that to us it's like, oh, I don't even need to do anything because my guild will clear it. But there's a lot of guilds that can't get through phase one without preloading one of those planets. And it's not just about, I feel like initially when Rise of the Empire started, nobody cared about the combats because it was just about it's a galactic power check. Do you have enough guild GP to get through phase one without having to preload?
Yeah, like you can basically get 15 stars without doing any CMs.
Yeah.
That
But
was like the borderline. Like everyone was like, if you can get enough stars, just do row. Like it's not worth it doing anything else because it's just so much better rewards.
but
Except for the get to, I think.
yeah.
Get one.
But my argument was for some of these newer, like I shouldn't say newer, but like guilds who are now getting to that point where phase one is potentially in reach of three and like doing 3 stars on the same day. Like that's where that Mace Windu mission, the Lord Vader mission, the Afra mission, those ones start to become important as you're getting closer because once you can get over that hump of 3 starring that, it opens up so many more options in your strategy moving forward.
Yeah.
That's when I would say when my guild did that, that was a you gained a bunch of stars really quickly. Same thing with when we got to phase two all in one day. That all of a sudden we got way more stars in quick succession because that happened. There's sort of like this just downhill effect of that.
I think I wonder I want to say if phase three is the most fun because depending on
Oh,
the comp you're using, Dathomir missions are just fun. And on Mix, there's so many special missions that are fun. Like at this point, Riva mission's fun. If you're using Riva, if you're using Marak Ami, if you're using
I'm not
Marak
using that.
Ami, oh my God, you're just like, it's base. It's like using a GL against a non-GL. You just kind of hit buttons and win.
Yeah, I would say that if there's a planet I enjoy, I like look forward to combats on. Man, that's a great question. There's a part of me that says Zepho because there's it's kind of a challenge there.
But you guys don't really do missions on Zepho.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't get to do enough of what I like to do on Zepho. Um,
Whereas
but
at this point,
I'm
I'm going to be beating every single mission on Zepho.
I would honestly say I enjoy Dathomir at this
Dathomir's
point.
pretty fun.
Like it makes me think a little bit. It's kind of a puzzle. Now, and that's also when I'm pushing myself from using like Inquisitors in the Empire mission, Remnants on one of the unrestricteds, Trench on the other one, and then the Afra mission.
Yeah. I mean, Dathmir's fun, but except for the Afro mission and SLKR modeling the other two. So there's not much gameplay because
Yeah.
I use C with Sith and that autos and then Lord Vader autos Empire. Afro I wouldn't auto Afro because that's just stupid. And then SLKR is stupid on auto because he doesn't actually gain mastery. He just swipes.
Oh, it's so stupid. I can't stand it.
Although that's not
Which
actually an issue on Dathmir because you wanted to alt loot, but I also want Sith Trooper to AoE every time he can, so he won't.
the other thing I was noticing though about like Dathomir with some of my teams is I feel like the GLs there, like Sith Eternal, you can't use his leadership,
No,
right? Which is actually a problem because it's by far and away the best dark side lead in terms of actually dealing damage. But like even
Sith Eternals is?
I would say it's the best for Sith in terms of damage between the mastery gain that you get. Yeah, like 40% mastery, 40 speed. Like that's way better than Darth Revan's lead.
Darth Evans, yes. Darth Malgus might be better with the Ami, but also it's very limited because it has too many clauses.
Well,
Oh,
but but Omicron's GAC. I'm talking TB. I'm saying like for TB,
yeah,
your best lead is Sith Eternal, and you can't use it on a bunch of the on Dathomir because you're just gonna die. Which fun note though, if you use Bane lead on Geonosis, it's so much fun because with all the Sith, because he just steals their max health. And as long as you're using like your relic eights and nines, he just gains so much health. It's not even funny.
So, fun fact, Darth Revan doesn't even have a Sith lead. His only synergy is for Sith Empire.
Well, okay, yeah, I guess that's fair.
So, like using Darth Revan lead does nothing for C. It's literally just the
Except
death
that,
mark and the fact that you can still revive.
yeah, the death mark is the biggest. You can get rid of this stupid acolyte, and then
And then it saves you a few minutes on auto, basically.
yeah.
Do you use that
But
that
that's
that team on Dathomir?
day one. I do that.
Okay.
Day two, I bring those guys. I forget what I might even preload them, or I bring them up to Kessel and use. I try to use all relic sevens on Dathomir where I can. Trench, I think, is one. Trench and Dooku are like the two relic eights that I use, and then like Reba.
Do you use Balin on Dathomir?
No, I have, but it's not consistent. I would say
Yeah, Balin's kind of a weird team because they're not unlike like every feels like every single new team, they're not really that like thick. They
no.
don't have all these mechanics that keep them alive. Like,
Yeah, you and it like, and you can't ever use Hondo with that team because like,
well, he's neutral though.
but you can still use him anywhere. Hondo you can use on every single planet,
Yeah.
but you don't want to use Hondo because you accidentally kill the person with the
Oh yeah.
captive and he goes away. I mean, on Dathomir, it's not a big deal,
Oh, well, yeah, then you just never use captive until you have that many
but
stacks.
it's still annoying because that's such a great ability. Like,
I feel like you're speaking from personal experience the one time you used Balin.
oh, it pissed me off so much. Like, I mean, like Hondo just dies, and then you're like, dude, go to hell. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
Hondo is
if
just like,
Conquest.
nope,
Don't get
I'm
me
out of
started.
here.
Don't get me started on using Hondo with Balin and Conquest. I could write a fucking
Yeah, you just don't use him. You don't use Hondo in a lot of places if you want to put it on auto because he's just gonna die.
yeah. The Conquest. The amount of times I had to redo a battle because that bastard died, and you're just like, God. And you don't want to waste the energy because okay, I got it done. I did a feat, but
Yeah.
like,
Now, see, that's what makes Hondo Kron good. Not the extra stats, not the extra. It's the fact that he doesn't die in 2 minutes, in 2 seconds.
yeah,
That's the only
yeah.
thing that
That's
makes his Kron good.
I
The data
forgot to
point.
like change my screen on the other one, so I apologize, guys. You've been staring at my TV teams, but yeah, he just dies all the time. But the thing with Balin, though, what I would say is that I feel like the like Merrick's Omicron is. I get that it's like best with Inquisitors because of just but using him with Balin would make Dathomir that much easier.
But also, you're not losing any Dathomir missions. And
Well, but we're talking from like I feel like this is where I've got to sometimes like step back. I'm talking from it like you're talking from a 12 million GP account where you have every single dark side GL.
okay, but
Like
for
no shit, you're not
most,
losing on Dathomir.
yeah, but for most guilds that aren't lower, they're doing the remission on phase 5 or phase 5, 4. I want to say phase 5 or phase 6 usually because they usually spend 2 days. They usually spend 2 days on on phase 1 mixed and then 2 days on 3 days on Tatooine. That's what I usually did. And then the second day we had platoons filled. So by the time you're using Marok's Army for that mission, Dathmir's open, so you can't use them for Dathmir. So it's like, okay, so
But
basically you get two useful usages out of that Army in a lower GP guild. And then for us,
but here's
obviously,
the question:
we can beat New mission easily. So
in what world? This is my big thing about Merrick Omicron. If you are using it because you think you need help in the Riva mission, then like you don't understand modding.
which is one thing because some players just don't have good mods. And if you can get a player who doesn't understand modding but can still beat the region mission, that's still a win
I guess, yeah. I
for
don't know.
some guilds.
I feel like the Inquisitors that it bothers me how many times I hear players talk about it because I'm not saying that it isn't good, but trying to justify it through the Riva mission when the Riva mission has been done for eons without that Omicron tells me throwing it on a Balin team or using it so that your Inquisitors can do combats that you couldn't do before is a better way to justify it.
Oh,
That's maybe
100%.
my argument.
Yeah, 100%. But I'd also look at it as I'm a 400 mil, 300 mil officer. I can take two people, one person with Relic 8 Inquisitors, one person with Relic 7 and Murakami. I'm taking the Murakami.
I
If
don't
we
know.
if we're chasing well, I don't know really getting Inquisitors because you're getting Michelin Haven, but there's someone with like decent mods versus someone with a below average, but they have the Murakami. If all I'm looking for is Reaper shards, I'm taking the Murakami because they can't lose that mission. Someone with decent
Well,
mods, they can lose that mission due to RNG or not paying attention or whatever. You can auto it with Murakami with
here's a question for
basically no
you.
mods.
Do you think guilds should still make Riva as big of a deal,
No,
or would you go make Bo-Katan Mandalore a bigger deal?
I think everyone should be doing Mogadam Mandalore. Yeah,
Yeah,
I see no reason to chase Reaper right now. She's good.
not that she, not
Chase
that she's
her.
not good.
She's very good. Chase her in the background, but don't make her the focus of your guild. Make Jedi Cal Kestis, Bo-Katan Mandalore because in the mid game, the Kairos are the bottleneck.
Yes,
Kairos, Zetas, and to some extent Signal Data. Signal Data isn't as hard in mid game because they're not doing all these Relic 8s, Relic 9s, but that's the bottleneck.
yeah, and the I think the value that if Jedi Knight Cal, I have a tougher time being like, go build this right away because I think you kind of need some good Jedi around him,
Mm,
and
but the thing is,
you
though,
do.
for someone for if you're to the point of we need to beat this mission, Jedi Cal Kestis is 5 gear 12s and then a Relic 9 Seer and a Relic 9, Relic 7 Seer and a Relic 7 Jedi Cal Kestis, and you beat the mission. So if you're asking your guild to do a mission, Jedi Cal Kestis is 10 times easier than any other mission in TV because
Who
you're
says you need Jedi Knight Cal? Who says you need Jedi Knight Cal Kestis for
well,
that mission?
if if you're a normal human being and
But like that's because I know for a lot of players, right? Like I would say you need both of Seer's Zetas to do that mission, unless you're equipping some Omicrons on Cal.
I would disagree with that. If you're remodding, you don't need any Seer Zetas. I've always done it without Seer Zetas.
But this the Zeta doesn't the Zeta give you the bonus damage?
Yeah, and I use that what at 1 out of 4 runs.
Oh, I use that all the time. That's my those.
I
That's my
I
kills.
use that I use that I use it. I'll usually use it once at the end of phase two, but at that point the second guy is at like 40% HP, so it doesn't really matter. I never get to it in phase one. In phase one,
Really? So
yeah.
you just kill. So you're you just not staying in windmill defense the whole time?
No, so what I'll do is at this point I've changed my strategy up. I'll drop an armor shred, go to windmill, um, uh, drop an armor shred. Sorry, windmill, drop an armor shred, windmill, insta
Yep.
kill, and then armor shred, and then insta kill to insta kill to windmill until they die, and then
Okay.
repeat for phase two, and I never lose.
Interesting. See, I
I
just
don't.
sit around and I sit around and windmill defense until Seer can nuke somebody.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But that I feel like that's a little bit safer for people to pull off.
Yeah, probably, but I I have this thing where Cal's kit works a certain way, and the auto battle plays it not the right way, and it pisses me off so much. I'll never use it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I
using not switching every other time, like even if it would make more sense, I don't want to not switch every time because that's the way his kit works.
yeah. Well, like the because it's funny when I first was doing it with like baby Cal, it took me a few times. I think it took me I forget if it was once or twice
Yeah,
before
and
I
you
kind
you
of
had insane defense mods on both of them too.
yes. Oh yeah. I mean, you gotta. It's not even just like the defense mods, but you've got to have like the speed somewhat correct to help out. But like, yeah, we had to really tweak stuff around to make that happen.
Mhm. So at this point, who do you swap mods with when you run the Caucasus mission?
Everybody.
You don't just choose one character and swap.
No, I steal from a couple.
So what I do,
Um,
so my crew is modded for defense and health. So I just steal cruise mods on Seer, and then I steal cats mods for Jedi Calcastus.
yeah, here. So I'm stealing from Chrysanthemum Crew, L3, Eth Koth, and Hera.
So what are you modding her then for when you swap?
Um, oops.
What
I guess
defense with health primaries?
yeah.
Okay.
So I get up to like 75% armor on her.
Well, let me see what mine gets real quick.
And then Cal Senior, it's very similar.
Yeah, so I just take only mods from crew and she gets to 74% armor.
Yeah, my crew doesn't have that much armor on him.
Yeah, he has all defense sets with health primaries and every single mod has defense secondary.
Yeah, my crew, I think I've got a mix of health.
I forgot how much fun I had making these crew mods. Damn, every single mod has defense secondary. That's really fun.
Yeah, my crew has 75% defense with just one defense set.
But you also have the relegate crew though. How much health is that?
Yeah, 115.
Mine has 101, but I remodded him when I got Darkseid Ray because I figured he's not going to he's if he's dying from an insta kill or a whirlwind.
Yeah.
So
I in threes
if they're spamming debuffs, he's going to be invincible with the defense.
and in threes, I don't even use crew with against Ray
Oh, you don't?
because I'll use first order stormtrooper to eat a whirlwind if I have to. Which I found a new team. One of my opponents told me that he uses SLKR, B1, and Wat Tambor against Ray because B1 can tank how many different hits because it's just stacks.
Yeah. So what, you throw tank tech on SLKR?
I think so. Which I don't know. I was thinking about that. I don't know if you need Watt in that team.
Yeah, because Watt's going to die. You can't stop that.
Yeah. So like I don't know that you need Watt there. The tank tech is probably nice. Like I'm sure there's times where it's useful, but I don't know if you need it against some of the Ray teams.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm only seeing Ray with Ezra.
Yeah.
And that's how many banners I always lose crew. That's the thing. It's like I'm gonna lose crew either way unless he's Erlich 9 because he's gonna die to the second whirlwind because the first one will be evaded because he can't be killed, but the second whirlwind he'll just die unless I can work
Yeah.
around that. Yeah, his mods are pretty good. I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, you have obviously way more armor than me. You take Morellic 8 and you'll get even more.
Yeah, if I have some fun with the Relic 9 crew, he will just be at that point I probably should give him health mods. But also
Yeah, I
I like the way he is right now with defense. And it's
th-
really easy because it's a fast swap first year for the mission.
see it's funny. I have a lot of my tanks where I at least throw I think one defense set on a lot of them. I'm not going to say on every single one, but I think on a lot of them I throw at least one if not two defense sets just
Yeah,
for
I've been going crazy with defense set recently. My Chrysanthemum has all defense sets. What other tanks have defense sets?
because the one thing that I was like, because now a lot of teams are doing stuff with armor shred or ignoring defense, and not that defense isn't still super helpful, but like if you have call it 300% defense and somebody else has 200, I mean
Hmm.
the impact of an armor shred on that 300% defense is just very
So
quickly
yeah.
it's exacerbated.
So my big four are Chrysanthemum, Crew, what was it? Oh, Set, Morgan, and Finn all have full defense sets that are actually semi-decent.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have anybody with a full defense.
I've been working on defense sets recently because I know that technically speaking, every single tank should have defense sets, ignoring the armor shred and the armor penetration problem because the amount of the amount of resistance that it provides increases your health and protection more than a health and protection set. Like the
Yeah, I
percentage increase, if you work up the math, is definitely much higher. And especially defense sets with health primaries or protection primaries and then defense secondaries, they're insane. Like my crew has 78% defense with all health primaries.
yeah, I mean I think my biggest thing with the defense that I'm trying to like, I don't even use defense sets on a bunch to still get a lot from it because of how much you can get on the secondary. But that's why I go with like one defense set and then a bunch of health is, I mean, I know it's 25% defense for the set. Like a set is way better arguably than just trying to go for the secondaries because getting to 25 is not easy.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the one defense set because, like, for instance, on my PAS, I have full health mods with health primaries,
Mm-hmm.
but then I just have enough defense secondaries to get him to 74% armor.
Yeah.
Of course, that's Relic 9, but he has a lot of defense secondaries. Like, what you're using? Oh,
Oh,
nice.
this is mine. Mine's 73 at Relic 7.
Interesting. Wait, so what are your, do you have any defense primaries on him? Or what are your defense secondaries on PAS?
Oh, I mean, they're pretty solid. So I've got 12, 14, 14, the primary 11 and 7.
Interesting.
And I think I have some flat defense. Yeah, I have flat defense
Okay,
in a
go
few
pull up my
places.
PAS mods. I'm confused why. Does defense gain just that small with the way
Oh,
the percentages work?
well, it depends. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to gain a lot. So, like, I gain 0.9%
Okay.
armor.
So that kind of makes sense because I have,
Yeah, you're not gaining a lot from a relic 8 to relic 9, but you
yeah,
could check, you could just do your check on the, like, if you, I don't know if you have your mods on PAS saved, but you could kind of compare it to my,
oh yeah, let me check this.
um,
Yeah, so I'm
like, I'm
gaining
giving,
78% defense.
yeah, I'm gaining 80.
Yeah. So that 2% change is about similar to the Relic 9. Well, but
Yeah.
how much health is he gaining though?
I think only like 131.
131% health.
I have no idea. Hold on. By the way, guys, if you've never made these like mod loadouts like this, it's so nice. 100% health,
Okay, yeah, mine's getting
101.
107%.
Yeah.
But he also is getting 107 speed, which means he actually takes a lot of turns, it feels like.
Yeah, mine the other thing I get 18% offense, and that's because his these mods here, I think this one here I'm gaining like 6% offense from. I am getting a little bit of extra offense on him, which is nice.
Yeah, I'm only getting 11% offense. I don't have any offense secondaries really, except for I want to say yeah, my diamond has 3% offense. And then it's
I'm
obviously the
debating
second
trying to
primary.
I'm debating trying to re-roll this offense off and move it to speed or defense. But that's another thing. Like just kind of as I think about like a lot, I feel like a lot of characters now, there I feel like for a while there was a lot of I'll say like how would I put it? I feel like they made a point for a while where every character had to be modded super fast to be good. And I feel like now they've kind of gotten away where they've made characters tanky enough that you don't need a crazy amount of speed on them to be good.
Or all these new characters have massive speed boosts in their kit. Speed boost, turn
That's
meter,
oh, it's
passive turn meter when you get hit or when something happens passively is so nice.
it's yeah. Well, and I like that. I will say I like that Ahsoka in her kit is like if you gain turn meter, you take true damage because I feel like that does stop a fair bit of some of the counters that you would try to use against her.
Or if anything, it just destroys your banners
Yes, yeah.
because are in your health. And a lot of teams don't have protection recovery. A lot of teams don't have good health recovery. Like
Which oh, go ahead.
I was just saying it just makes it annoying.
Hmm?
I was just saying it makes it annoying because you always lose so many banners against Soka. Even like solid counters, you're losing all your banners basically.
Well, the other thing I noticed is like I have been, you know, like with what was the team I was using the other day? That I was kind of surprised at how like even like this is where I was going. Sorry. I had to redo something on my work laptop and it took me away. So like territory wars. You know how the scoring there is there's no banners, right? It's like for surviving. And there's a part of me that wishes GAC scoring worked more like that, where there wasn't as much for the protection and the health, from the standpoint that I feel there are some much more interesting counters you could do in territory wars that you can't, that I would never do in GAC because of banners.
Yeah, because they're messy. And
Yeah.
then
And that kind of like, I don't know, there's a skill to both sides, right? There's a skill to knowing a very risky counter, and there's also a skill to knowing this gets me max banners and I'm going to win.
yeah, and then there's some teams where you just accept you're never going to get protection banners.
Yeah.
Like
Like General
for
Skywalker.
General Skywalker, for instance, Bo-Katan, unless you're in 3v3 at least, you're never getting protection banners back. It's just
Yeah.
accepted.
Another one I'd even say is anytime you use Kylo before Ray, Kylo, you were never getting your banners back.
I'd say still with Ray because usually the team will the for most things I've been using Califor, for, the team still falls apart reasonably. Now you'll recover protection insane, but the problem is your team's still very squishy unless they're spamming debuffs.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my favorite counter to QA right now is Kylo because he gets max banners because they're spamming debuffs and you become
Yeah.
invincible. It's so funny.
The other thing too I've noticed is
Oh, also
fears.
thinking of that counter, um, Darkseid Raid inflicts shock on that decoy.
Oh, nice. Which I mean
Gotta
shouldn't
love
happen, but
gotta love our pugs.
I mean, gosh. But that, like, speaking of like the banners and the protection recoveries and stuff, like that is one thing that I feel like there should be some sort of like same thing with like the ships. Don't get me started sometimes on when you're going up against the malevolence and they get to spam the AoE after you've recovered all your banners and you just lose everything.
I mean what? Leviathan and Profundity are the only teams that actually recover
Protection.
protection. And Leviathan doesn't even do a good job at that. Profundity is just it's just stupid.
But yeah, I
But
mean, but profundity nowadays, you're not like it doesn't get to go against any actual good fleet anymore.
yeah. Like it's like you're never gonna get banners back. Like maybe you'll get a two heal you'll get a heal off at the end. Maybe I'll say Empire when you get good RNG, Empire can get decent banners.
Yeah, if you use Thrawn's execute ability the right way, you should get a lot of banners back
Yeah.
because
I
you can put it on like if you put it on like the scythe, you should be able to crush it.
and then you have the scythe heal, you have the recovery from Gauntlet Gauntleting, you have the heal on TIE Bomber, or not TIE Bomber, Emperor Shuttle.
Yep.
Fan Defender heals itself whenever it crits, or I think it recovers health when it crits, and then protection when it dodges, I want to say.
Yeah. So
It, but
here's something to think about with a lot of players now all wanting the Marauder and like Bad Batch that are just sitting there at like gear one waiting for this bundle, right? Do you think that part of the reason we haven't, because I did a video the other day talking about Bad Batch bundle, and do you think part of the reason they haven't released this bundle yet is because they know this is the counter to Punishing One, this is the counter to Leviathan, and we are going to hold on to this for as long as possible until there's something else.
that's interesting.
Because they're, in my mind, this is the bundle that they can make the most money off of.
Yeah, because everyone wants Marauder. Well,
And
I would
it's
say
not even
they,
Marauder. I feel like people have Marauder. They just don't have the Bad Batch.
yeah, exactly. Well, they want to use Marauder.
Yes.
Everyone has Negotiator. Everyone, most people 7-star the Marauder because it's just that good. Like on my alt account, I just haven't played it in months and it's still 6 stars. And I have no
Yeah.
bad batch because I was just like, well, I have to farm it. If I'm getting bad
Yes.
batch at some point, I need the Marauder.
Yeah. I just am. I've sat here and the more I like go through the motions of thinking about the way that this ship is going to impact the like I'm wondering if they haven't released that bundle because I think personally they will include the Marauder as part of it. Based off of every other bundle we've gotten where there's a ship element to it, they've included the ship. And the other side of me though says maybe they'll just sell Bad Batch plus Omega for $50 and tell you to go farm Marauder on your own, which would also, I think that would actually start, there'd be wars start over that because you sold Negotiator at 7 stars for $50.
Yeah, they already sold a
I
negotiator. And even that negotiator, you get it in a few months, basically.
but
It's
think
pretty
about like the
easy.
Get to, that's Get 2's huge. That's Kyrotech
Yeah,
in your back pocket.
for us, but if you're at the point where you're getting a lot of get to from like Geo, you're not really at the you're not that deep into the Karotech grind. It's more so your shards still, shards and
I don't, I don't
Zetas.
yeah, but I don't know.
Because
That's the thing though, right?
at that point you're not really there's no reason to do all the Karotech tunes when you can farm all the
But if
non-Karotech tunes.
if I get Negotiator for free, you have to pay how much Get 2 for it. The amount of I'll get Malevolence, right? In the time that you go build your Negotiator, I've got my 7 star Malevolence, and now I'm just buying Kyrotech.
Hmm.
I'm going to be so much further ahead than you.
Yeah,
Literally, like not just because of getting the forget all the other implications that that bundle has. I now am buying all of that Kyrotech.
yeah.
That's the hidden. I feel like that was the hidden part of that bundle is the Kyrotech savings, and I feel like with this Bad Batch bundle, that's why like if they didn't include the ship, anybody who didn't farm it already is screwed because you're still months away from getting it. And
Except they really like to do that though.
yeah, I mean,
But
you know them.
they love doing that.
That was because that was the other thing I brought up was like I could see some bundles coming out because like they sold Cam for what $20, right? Was that a 20? Like was he
Um,
$20?
25, I want to say. I know
Like
I bought it
what?
on my other account.
Like for Iden and TIE Defender. What if they sold a Iden TIE Defender bundle for $20
They could get away with 30.
or a
If they include the Omni, they could get away with 30 or 40 for Iden. Well,
or like a
I'd say
another
30
one I was
they
thinking
could get
of
away with.
is the Common Pants and Zori. There's a bundle for $20. Again, I you could chart, pricing, whatever, but that's some of the ones where I think they're going to start having to do is these one-off characters that they've released because you've done all these big factions. You're going to have to shift in some way, and I feel like it could be the Gar Saxon and Imperial Super Commando with Gauntlet.
And a really
Those
nice
things
thing,
that
sorry.
it's the things that people haven't built up but are still solid investments.
Yeah, and the really nice play with those icy bundles is when they include Omnis because they're Omnis that people wouldn't get. They're armies that
Yes.
people might maybe they're luxury armies, maybe they're incredibly useful, but you have to skip them because you need more important armies. Like if they do a comeuppance bundle and it includes the Zori army, let's
Well, I don't know
say,
that with the Zeta, it include the Zeta. It won't include an Omicron.
well, the last few have been they've been giving la level 8 abilities. So
Did they?
yeah, that's what Boba Fett, Cyan Django did. That's what the Tuscan, no, not the Tuscan bundle.
Tuskens. It was just Boba Fett, Sign of Django that they gave the Omicrons to. But you're
Yeah,
right. The Boba Fett, Sign of Django is another great example of like a bundle. Like I thought that was a great move on their part. I think that was a great bundle.
yeah, I gotta love how I couldn't buy it because mine was Relicate. I totally would have
I was
just for the
Yeah.
armies.
I couldn't buy it either, but I wouldn't have anyway. But that to me is a good trajectory moving forward for them is these one-offs, maybe a ship included with the character,
Oh,
and
also,
it's
oh no, I was thinking something else. Okay.
because at this point now, I mean the conquest units that they should that like I know like the amount of channel members I've seen who they're unaligned force users, it's you know Malicos and Maul sitting at level 1 gear 1. I feel like people would potentially buy that bundle just for the gear and the Zetas on. I mean, I guess you can't do Malicos might get Zetas. Yeah, he would get the Zetas.
I
because
feel
his
like
Omicrons are the
people get
level
the
8.
Zetas, but if you got the Omicrons, it would be the best Lightspeed bundle we've had because his
Yeah.
Amis, all three of his Amis are incredibly good, and they work so well together. Like his two
Yes.
uniques are a must.
He needs all three Omicrons in my opinion. You can't get away with just two or one.
I think you could get away with two,
I don't
but
know. The die
if
whelp
you're
is this is
if
so this
yeah, if you
yes.
plan on using him to kill Ray without Star Killer, you need all three.
Yeah. I that's the thing is I think there's certain characters I'm willing to go one Omicron on. Some you could do two, but there's a couple where you just cannot afford to cheap out.
Yeah, I would say the same with Ben. Ben, for the longest time, for the players, was a one Omicron character. I think if your opponent knows what they're doing, he needs to be two. Otherwise, they're using C to kill Ray.
I'd actually argue he's two no matter what, and eventually he becomes three.
Yeah, he becomes three at Relic 7 and Relic 8 because
Yes.
at that
Yeah.
point he deals enough damage for hitting under protection to actually kill people. Because at Relic
Yeah.
5, he's not dealing much damage, so it doesn't really that matter that much.
So, last question for you. With what you're working on right now, Mandalorians and stuff, what is your bottleneck? At 12 million GP, what is if there was one thing to get you to the next point, what is it?
Right now,
Yeah. If you
sig
wanted to get the next Relic 9 character, what is the biggest roadblock for
right
you?
now it's Signal Data and Relic 8 Salvage.
So you need Relic 8 materials.
I need impulse detectors. I have two right now, and I have nothing to scrap them.
Yeah, so you need like because I would argue that's more than signal data because those are not easy to come by.
And you need 40 for a Relic 9.
Yes, like that's much more extensive than signal data.
But Signal Data is my other bottleneck. I have enough blue Signal Data for a Relic 8, but I'm short on green because I mean I've been farming it, but
Yeah,
that was most of that was because I bought some. So
I have mine is just I need signal data right now.
yeah,
That's
but
literally it.
a month ago you had stores though.
Yeah,
You
but that's
have
it.
you
That was oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was thinking if wonder if you could you should try keeping track of your Signal Data spending.
Oh, I
And
don't
then you
want to
can
know.
well, but it could be interesting though because then you can kind of tell how much you've spent over time, and then you get an accurate picture of of what your Signal Data income is from all sources.
I mean, I would know how much I've spent. I could do that math because I have my actual farms. And at least for 2025, I would remember where every single one of these characters started at.
Okay.
So, like that, I would know,
So
right?
that'd just be a point of
Because
math.
like these two right here from a blue signal data, that's 30. These three right here from a blue signal data perspective is 225. She would be 75 plus 45, that's 110. um this entire group right here is 300 blue signal data. So yeah, like I would know Jabba and Chrysanthemum is 200 blue signal data because they both went from relic 7 to relic 9.
Hmm.
So like I could do that math, but yeah, it's a lot. But that's like you said, I had a lot stored up from over the years because I was saving it for kind of like this moment.
And it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean that's I will die on the hill that the way I could have had a few more relics here and there over the years and it might not have impacted me, but in that same breath I was able to make certain upgrades immediately rather than having to wait. Like my Ezra, I never had to worry about upgrading a conquest unit and not having signal data available because I had this store sitting there when I needed it.
Hmm. And the nice thing is, Dracasa's going to come. She's going to be okay with Beck, probably. She'll probably be pretty good if
Yeah.
you get the Amis. And then there's the Bad Batch. You have 2 months that you can keep throwing signal data at farms, at Relic
Yeah.
Nines and Relic Eights and Relic Sevens. Because you're still sitting here waiting for the next thing because you're all caught up. And Bad Batch will be what? I want to say at least 3 months. So No, probably 4 or 5 months till you can 7-star them without refreshing nodes.
Yeah, I don't know
Assuming
that I'm gonna.
assuming Crosshair isn't a Cantina.
Yeah, I'm not planning on refreshing their nodes.
Yeah, there's no
As
reason to.
I think they're gonna be very good, but I just don't know that I'm willing to do that yet.
They are very good. They're killing a bunch of GLs right now without Amis.
Yeah, but there's again, you've got the Hunter Mercenary Datacron right now, which is crazy.
I
And
think
anytime you do testing,
they're killing GLs without Datacrons.
okay, but you add a Datacron on a GL is far more impactful than a Datacron on a team like this.
True, true.
Like I put a 15 and 15 on one of my GLs, and that Bad Batch team is gonna get boned.
What does the Crosshair Datacron do? I didn't know he got one actually.
Oh, great. Of course he got one. Let me see. I bet somebody I know has it. But yeah, I gotta check this out and then I gotta run.
I'm not seeing it in his event anywhere.
Oh, maybe he didn't get one.
I don't think he did.
No, just Hunter.
Oh yeah, the 100 Datacron. That's probably what you were thinking of because they usually do a Datacron right when the new set comes out. It's
Yeah.
easier to code
So I
that
mean,
way.
in the next Datacron set, I guarantee we're going to have an Omega or Crosshair or Batcher. We'll probably have all of them to be honest. We'll get a Bad Batch.
We'll probably get one. We'll probably get an Omega Cron that's good, and the rest of them are all just crappy crons.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Which you know what's going to be funny is like the your level 3 will be light side and the level 6 will be Bad Batch, so you'll still get some benefit from it in the older Datacron set or
Yeah,
the older Bad Batch
except that
because
we're still formatting though.
I mean,
Well,
but
no,
still,
because you don't you don't need faulty in a bad batch.
yeah, but still, that is the one thing that is really nice is that it's not like the entire team got that mercenary tag where they could throw the whole thing in mercenaries and your old Bad Batch doesn't help because obviously clone troopers wouldn't help the new team, but Bad Batch will still help the original guys with their datacrons.
I wonder if they'll give us a level 9 for one of the old Bad Batch members.
I would
They do that
assume you'd get probably for Omega.
probably for Omega because then it forces people to Relic 7 or Relic 5 her.
Yeah.
I think she had one before and it was pretty good, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean they've done it. I said this to Logan too. Like they've done a good job. They deserve some credit that they've. Some of the datacrons are getting a bit ridiculous. We can all agree, but I feel like they've done a good job of trying to resurrect some of the older characters to make them good for like the Fulcrum Cron, the Sidious, the Wampas, um, HK, Sana. These characters who are kind of there at one point in time. You're using them a lot. Now you're not. They're getting resurrected with a datacron that's pretty accessible for a lot of players comparative to like Hunter, Balin, and these exclusive ones they're doing.
Yeah.
But
Have you used your hooker tail crown on offense yet?
no, I put that on defense.
I've been using it in Squad Arena and it's very fun because
I'll have to.
it's like you're in Conquest basically.
Oh gosh,
Like the amount of offense you get is so stupid.
I'll
And
have to try it
because you
then.
can play the team, you can play the team to spam basically you play the team to spam all your thermals and then blow them up with boosh. And then the next
Yeah,
turn you're just hitting for 200K. Like I had Chrysanthemum hit for like 60K.
yeah. Well,
Chrysanthemum.
yeah,
That's how much offense you get.
yeah. I'll let you know when I try it out. I've got a decent Cad Bane cron I can use. So,
Yeah, but I used it and I nuked Leia with Fulcrum Con in Squad Arena. That was very fun.
final thoughts before we head out here.
Um, oh, mod Mara Jade for protection over
Mod
health,
Margin for
over offense, to a certain extent over potency or speed. Well, I wouldn't say over speed unnecessarily unless you have really good mods, but that's even a consideration because the amount of the amount of protection she will get. Because let's do some rough math. Let's say you give her mine has let's see. Say I give her JML's arrow or there. So if I give her all protection and then I give her some protection secondary, she has that here. Just by giving her all protection mods, she has 104,000 protection.
So 208 under Star Killer.
Renee and a Star Killer. Her unique gives her 200% protection after she hits 20 stacks. She can take two whirlwinds to the face at Relic 5.
But she never takes whirlwinds. It's always Emperor Palpatine.
She doesn't. But the thing is, with Jabba, you can use that team against Jabba, and she's invincible because she'll never take
Hmm,
any damage from thermals.
that's a good point.
And in 5v5, if you don't have JMK, I was telling was it I forget if it was Ali in the Discord that if you're using GK with SK, it's an 80% win rate based on the fact that whether they drop buff immunity on Star Killer or not. Because GK is passing around crit avoidance, which means that you're not taking damage from dots or thermals, which is the only thing that'll kill Star Killer in against that team. Because Mara Jade is also throwing out crit immunity in GAC. It's such an easy counter if you have GK on that team. Of course, we can't use GK because JMK exists.
Unless you bring, I mean, I bring Kenobi on offense. I could take GK out of that team depending
Ex
on what I'm facing.
Yeah, that's true. I put him
But
on defense, so. But that's my thought for Starkiller. Mod Mara for protection. Mod Palpatine for much protection as well because he actually does take all the whirlwinds because Rey will hard target him in 3v3. And use GK with Starkiller over anything like Old Ben or Plo Koon or Mace Windu. He's just so good.
my my last thought is get prepared for this next raid and get prepared for it to hurt. We didn't talk about that today. We'll try to cover that next week. But I have a feeling this next raid is going to make Battle for Naboo's requirements seem like a walk through the park.
Yeah, Phil, you're gonna be in a shit show with break destroying all your horde.
It's going to be a problem. I'm
Yeah.
not looking forward to it. But that's it, guys.
We'll see you next time.